want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I could feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring to their knees. Thanks for their disease. Just like a weed.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the greatest show on earth. We are streaming live across 4 different platforms, across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different accounts, and we are set and ready for the final lightning flash update of 2023. You guys have made this year undoubtedly the best year for the DJ Storms brand possible. And as of course you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the Best Damn X, formerly known as Twitter handle, known to mankind. We are live from the Masters of Your Memories Con in Rockaway Mall in Rockaway, New Jersey. We got a lot of great people here. I see we got the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, just to my left, along with Tito Santana. ISPW Tri-State Champion Ray Calitri is here. We got the Power Rangers as well from the 80s. We got Sean Avery of the New York Rangers. Buster Douglas is here. Will Janowitz from the Sopranos, he's here as well. A lot of great people. Plenty of great people to come on by and meet. And of course, I'm here. So you know it's always going to be a good time. Once again, thank you all for making 2023 a great year for the DJ Storms brand. And we are set to go over a couple news, rumors, and reports, and we're set to go over my personal top 10 matches of 2023. And I'm glad that you guys are spending your Saturday afternoons with me. Of course, please make sure, if you have not already done so, go and follow me on X and Instagram at HistoryMakerDJS. One more time, that is at HistoryMakerDJS, both on X and Instagram. You can also add me on my personal Facebook as well for collaborations and business inquiries. Please make sure that you send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Be sure to like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all of the links are in the description of this very stream, as well as the links to my sponsorships. Go check out Brittany K. She's a wonderful woman, very good friend of mine. She does beautifully crafted designs of pro wrestlers, and she also does Twitter avies and banners from scratch on her iPad. Beautiful designs and drawings. So if you guys are looking for a great wrestler design and drawing, or if you guys are looking for a new Twitter Avi or banner, she is your girl. Go and check her out on X, Brittany K5150, and on Instagram, Brittany K Designs. And then on top of that, please go and check out Corporate Information System for all your recruiting needs and to help advance your career. Go contact my friends over at CISrecruiters.com. www.cisrecruiters.com. One more time, www.cisrecruiters.com. On top of that, please make sure that you hit the like button on the stream, no matter where you're watching it from, whether you're watching it from X, whether you're watching it from Facebook, whether you're watching it from Rumble, whether you're watching it from YouTube, whether it be on my YouTube or the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel. It is very vital that you share it out, hit the like button, share it out on all platforms, social media, and get as many people in here as possible. It is the final Lightning Flash update of 2023, and we are looking to close out the year on the highest note possible. Of course, please make sure, if you have not already done so, please make sure that you go and check out the rundown for AEW World's End with Hannah, good friend of mine from Kentucky. She decided to stop by the channel on Thursday, and we dissected everything AEW World's End related. So go and check that out if you haven't already done so. We're not going to go too long. We'll probably only go about an hour and 15, because we're not really going over any weekly shows. Raw and SmackDown were pretty much 2023 recap shows, so there's really no reason to go over them. And Dynamite and Rampage, they did what they did to build towards World's End, but it really wasn't necessary for me to take notes and review it. We got plenty, and I mean plenty, of time to do that starting next year. On top of that, please make sure, if you haven't already done so, be sure to hit the subscribe button, whether it be on the Hardcore Sports channel or on my YouTube channel. We are over 2,200 subs and counting, and we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers for the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel. Please go and show some love. It is incredibly vital that you do so, because it helps me out, it helps Hardcore Sports out, it helps the entire brand out. It is vital that you do so, because everyone needs a little dose of DJ Shizzle Dizzle in their life. I just make people's lives better. It's a known fact. If you do not have me in your life, I don't know what you're doing. And on top of that, please make sure, if you have not already done so, be sure to hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace, because that way you are going to know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, oh, baby, you already know that it is the absolute best time to be on YouTube, because it is the only time that you are going to get to see this glorious sideburn shin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. It's the final Lightning Flash update of 2023, so you know we're going to light it up right here. Look at this. Look at this beautifully crafted magical ace black comb. It is absolutely sizzlating, and we're going to light it up right here on the final LFU of the year with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of because like a hot, fresh Popeyes chicken sandwich and a side of steak fries, I am just so good. I am the tastiest snack in the IWC. Everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. Anyway, why don't we get straight into the festivities here? Enough of the self-brand promotion, the advertisements. Take a sip of my soda over here. Let's talk about some news, rumors, and reports, shall we? Certainly a newsworthy week, even though we are headed towards the end of the year. We have a report from Fightful Select regarding Shawn Spears. Shawn Spears of AEW, he is actually set to be a free agent on January 1st. And as of Monday, he will no longer be affiliated with All Elite Wrestling. It's kind of sad if you think about it, but the opportunities for Shawn Spears are endless. Because Shawn Spears, in my eyes, is probably one of the most, if not the most, versatile professional wrestler of our generation. Anything that you plug him into, he's automatically going to succeed. It doesn't matter what. Whether you're putting him in the mid-card, whether you're putting him in an upper echelon feud, whether you're putting him in a tag team, no matter where you place him, he is able to make shit work. And that's what's so great about Shawn Spears. Now, in my eyes, I do believe that Shawn Spears could have been a little bit more in AEW. If anything, I'm actually a little disappointed that they did not give Shawn Spears a short run, at least a short run with the TNT Championship. I actually remember when AEW Dynamite first came around, I remember I was pitching heavy for Shawn Spears to be the first mid-card champion. Now, that never happened. It ended up going to Cody. Then it ended up going to Brody Lee. And we all know what happened with the TNT title. Now the TNT title is starting to feel important. But regardless, I think Shawn Spears was... He really wasn't given too much with AEW, but for the time that we saw him on TV, he made the most of what he was given. And he ended up giving us some decent matches when he was put on TV in high-profile situations. And that I can respect. Shawn Spears even came out and said that his legacy isn't going to be based on winning championships. And I understand that. I just wish that Shawn Spears would have been given a little bit more in AEW, because they could have gone a long way with Shawn Spears, especially when he was pretty much MJF's lackey, or whether he was in the Pinnacle or not. Especially when he was with Tully Blanchard. When he was with Tully Blanchard, I legit thought Shawn Spears was destined to be a champion in AEW. That's not the case. Where does he go? I don't know. Maybe he just wants to stay home and raise his kid. Maybe he just wants to deal with his pro wrestling school. Maybe he's content with that. Or maybe he goes back to WWE. You never know. Maybe we could see Shawn Spears make a return and get a proper run that he should have gotten back in WWE before they unceremoniously fired him after he got called up. When he got called up, I mean, they did nothing with him. They did absolutely nothing with him. And he was over as all hell. He got the number 10 over. They brought him up, and within a month, he was pretty much an afterthought. It's quite pathetic if you ask me. Regardless, I wish the best for Shawn Spears, and I know that anywhere that is lucky to land him, whether it be Impact, whether it be WWE, whether it be MLW, whatever promotion is lucky enough to land him, they are going to benefit greatly, both in the ring and outside of the ring, because backstage, Shawn Spears is going to give a lot of great advice to the up-and-comers. Moving on here, I got a report from Better Wrestling Experience. Better Wrestling Experience apparently reported that there have been suggestions to split the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships during the build to WrestleMania 40. I don't know why this is even a report, and I'm not sure who thinks that this is a good idea. That is an awful, awful decision if they go forth with it. I honest to God don't know why WWE decided to combine the tag team titles and have a team walk around with two sets of tag team championships. If they were going to combine them like they did back in 2022, they should have made one championship. It's ridiculous. I honest to God don't know why we still have reports coming out stating that, they're potentially going to split the tag team titles up. Does WWE have enough tag teams on either show to do two sets of tag team titles? From my vantage point, I don't see that at all. Matter of fact, if you take a look at the tag teams on Raw and SmackDown, even though there's a lot more tag teams now than there were 2-3 years ago, there's still not enough tag teams to do two separate brands of tag team titles. Back in 2016, and I've referenced this numerous amounts of times, back in 2016, when we had the initial rebirth of the draft, the roster back then was big enough for two separate rosters, two women's titles, two tag team titles, two mid-card titles, two world titles. The roster was in perfect condition for that. Now you take a look at the roster, even with some people coming back to the WWE, do you honestly feel that the roster is at a point where they can deal with two sets of tag team championships? The answer is no. So I'm not sure who is pitching this. I'm not sure who in WWE is vying for the tag team titles to be split up again, but whoever it is, and if you're watching, stop it. Stop. We need one set of tag team titles. We need one tag team championship, one for each participant. We do not need 4 titles, 2 for each anymore. I understand if you want to hype up the Judgment Day. I understand if you want to just continuously sell them as the most dominant faction in WWE because they hold God knows how many titles, when Dom was holding the North American title and then Rhea's holding the women's world title. Finn Balor and Damian Priest are holding 2 championships. I get it. But after WrestleMania, I do not expect to see 2 sets of tag team titles anymore. In no way, shape, or form should we have 2 sets of tag team titles. What we need to do is we need to develop a legitimate competitive division before our very eyes. We could have that. We could very well have that. I mean, we've seen great tag team matches with Imperium and DIY. We've seen great tag team matches with the Judgment Day and the Creed Brothers. The Alpha Academy has mixed it up in there. Why don't we start having the tag team titles float between 2 brands and really start pushing that narrative? Push that narrative that tag team wrestling is going to thrive on WWE TV. I really hope that they don't split the tag team championships. Moving on here, I got a report regarding Zelina Vega. According to PW Insider, Zelina Vega has signed a new multi-year deal with the WWE. Really a non-factor. All Zelina Vega does is add another body to the division. Is she going to be a women's champion? Of course not. Now, has she gotten better? She's absolutely gotten better. But when I look at Zelina Vega and I watch her wrestle, she's not championship material. She's a very good wrestler, but ultimately, she's just a woman that's going to be able to give other women's wrestlers a decent match, but ultimately, she's never going to be the champion. Plain and simple. I got a report regarding WWE and their dabbling with Japan wrestling promotions. We have the Wrestling Observer newsletter reporting that besides the new deal with All Japan Pro Wrestling, which, by the way, Charlie Dempsey, William Regal's son, he actually made an appearance on All Japan Pro Wrestling. Aside from the new deal with All Japan Pro Wrestling, the WWE has also expressed interest in working with Stardom. Now, nothing has been finalized, but the WWE has indeed confirmed interest. Now, regarding Stardom, I think that Stardom, if we're going to go based off of who has the best women's division in the world, Stardom is easily the number one place for all women's wrestling. I don't think that should come as a surprise to anyone. Impact has the greatest mainstream pro wrestling roster in North America. But in terms of the entire globe, I mean, you just take a look at some of the matches at Stardom, and you know for a fact that Stardom is the women's wrestling capital of the world. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get that, but if they were to get that, I'm assuming that with Stardom would come Mercedes Moné. But Mercedes Moné, according to the reports, the talks between Mercedes and WWE have dialed down. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. That's actually going to be our final report before we get into the top 10 matches of the year. But I'm not sure if Stardom is going to be willing to work with WWE. I understand that Triple H is really trying to break the market, and Triple H is really trying to expand and kind of make it the norm for WWE to start working with other wrestling promotions, because Vince McMahon, he gave the WWE such a bad reputation, how they don't play well with others, and how anyone that comes over from a foreign country is ultimately buried on WWE TV because they can't speak English, or they don't look like a Barbie doll, or they're too small, or they're too fat, whatever it may be. So Triple H, he's trying to erase that mentality, and that's great. It's going to take a little bit of time, though. All Japan, I think, is a start, but I'm not so sure that WWE is going to be able to get Stardom on their partnership list. I don't know why, but something tells me with Stardom that they're not ready for that yet. They're not ready to work with a company like WWE based on their history. And to be quite honest with you, I don't blame them. If I was them, I would be a little bit apprehensive too. Because Triple H is doing a lot better than Vince, but he's not perfect in his own right. NXT was the closest thing to a perfect wrestling show, but we're not even getting that. NXT Black and Gold, unfortunately, is dead and gone. We'll never see that again. We'll see what happens with Stardom, though. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on it, and that's definitely going to be a topic to watch out for in 2024. I'm not sure if any more news outlets are going to break any more reports regarding Stardom and WWE, but it's something that I am going to keep a watchful eye out for. Speaking of NXT, as confirmed by the Metro, NXT is off of UK Sports, which is a channel in the United Kingdom that houses all sports. I mean, duh, it's in the name. But NXT is no longer on UK Sports. The deal with that sports channel has been terminated, and NXT going forward instead will be airing on Peacock, starting with the New Year's Evil special next week, and realistically speaking, next year as well. I really find it so funny how everyone wants to make a big deal about NXT. I find it so hilarious how everyone continues. They just want to harp on this shit. Like they really want to make it a big deal that NXT is going to have a breakout year in 2024. What has NXT done this year? Seriously. What has NXT done this year that has made anyone believe that they are worthy of being in that position? What have they done? They haven't done anything. NXT, as we speak right now, I continue to say it, it's the worst brand in the industry. Not because of the roster. Not because of the roster. The roster is fantastic. The roster is fantastic. It is all about the creative direction. The show has no creative direction. The show is nothing more than half of the roster being as they shouldn't even be on TV. Half the roster shouldn't even be on TV. The roster that should be on TV, they're put in juvenile storylines that 5-year-olds could fucking write. I wouldn't be shocked if NXT is legitimately written by a fucking 5-year-old. It's ridiculous. And then on top of that, all NXT has been doing is bringing in main roster talent and WWE legends from back in the day, and they're using that as their basis to gain new TV deals. And after they gained the new TV deal with the CW, what did they do? Becky Lynch lost the NXT Women's Championship. The Undertaker, John Cena, they made an appearance. They've never been seen on NXT ever since then. Paul Heyman made an appearance. Asuka made an appearance. How many main roster talents were making appearances up until that announcement that NXT signed with the CW? The Judgment Day isn't even appearing on NXT anymore. And Dom, he was the North American champion 2 times over. Nothing more than a cheap marketing ploy. Nothing more than a cheap marketing ploy just to gain them a new TV deal with no substance whatsoever. It was pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. But at the end of the day, I do not blame them. I do not blame NXT I do not blame UK Sports for taking NXT off of their channel in the United Kingdom. And to be quite honest with you, this is something that I've been preaching for God knows how long. I wish that NXT was taken off of USA Network. I wish they weren't going to the CW. I wish that NXT was on Peacock again. That would actually make things a little bit more tolerable, and I wouldn't have to worry about that anymore. But lo and behold, NXT, they're getting a new TV deal with the CW. I'm not going to lie. If UK Sports took off NXT, I would actually be shocked if the CW does not renew their deal with NXT once it's done. I'm not sure how long it's going. It's coming up in October of 2024. That's when the CW deal starts. Coming up in October of 2024. I'm not sure if it's a 2-year deal, a 3-year deal, a 5-year deal, but either way, when that deal is over, I hope to God that NXT is off and it goes back to Peacock. One less shit show during the wrestling week that we do not need to worry about. Moving on here. The Rock, he returned to WWE back in September, and it was nothing more than a one-off appearance. Nothing more than a one-off appearance where he pretty much verbally buried Austin Theory, and then they touted Austin Theory as the 150 million hitman on social media. Whatever. The Rock came out on social media. He came out in a social media post talking to a 15-year-old kid named Jaden. Now, The Rock told Jaden during his Make-A-Wish visit that he may be returning to the WWE to lay the smackdown on some candy asses. Now, this report broke earlier in the week, and many people were under the impression that The Rock was not coming back. Many people were pretty much under the impression that Cody Rhodes was set in stone to be fighting Roman at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes was pretty much set in stone to either win the Rumble or the Chamber. I prefer the Chamber. CM Punk is the correct Royal Rumble winner. But Cody Rhodes was either set in stone to win the Rumble or the Chamber because those are the only 2 ways that he can get to Roman. He wasn't traded to SmackDown. It was Kevin Owens that was traded to SmackDown. And yes, Earl Cole is in the chat right now. Yes, I do return to the wrestling experience on Thursday, January 11th, and it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be fucking awesome. But Cody Rhodes, like I said, pretty much all but confirmed. And Now with The Rock reportedly coming back, I'm not sure how much truth there is to this. I'm not sure how much traction there really is to this report. Maybe it's just a meaningless report of The Rock trying to give the fans some hope. Maybe he's just giving a Make-A-Wish kid some hope. But like that old saying always says, where there's smoke, there's fire. At this point, I do not know what to believe. I honest to God do not know what to believe as it pertains to The Rock. I don't know what to believe as it pertains to WrestleMania. At this rate, we're all just going to have to wait and see. Now, I remember a couple months ago, I believe I remember that there was a report regarding The Rock supposedly being booked for the Elimination Chamber in Perth, Australia. We could still see that. We could absolutely still see that. I'm not really sure what he's going to be doing. I don't know if he's going to be competing in a match. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Regardless, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this because The Rock, listen, even though I don't like The Rock is certainly going to generate some attention, and I'm guessing it's going to mean more views for me. It's going to mean more views for me, but truth be told, I really do hope that The Rock does not show up. I really do hope that The Rock does not show up because if we're going to be honest here, do we really need The Rock? Do we really need The Rock? No, we don't. We do not need The Rock at WrestleMania. We do not need him fighting Roman Reigns. We do not need him fighting Cody Rhodes at the Chamber. We do not need him competing in the Elimination Chamber. The Rock, as we speak right now, is not needed for WrestleMania. WWE does not need to rely on The Rocks and the Stone Colds or the fucking Undertakers and the John Cenas. They don't need to rely on that anymore. They have built a reputation with their fan base to a point where all they need to do is say, hey, we're having an event in SoFi Stadium, or we're having an event in MetLife Stadium. And guess what? They're going to sell 60,000 tickets within the first 3 hours. That's the reputation that WWE is built right now. And you know why? It's not because they have all these major names. It's not because of Roman. It's not because of Rock. It's not because of Cena. It's not because of Punk. It's because they have undoubtedly the best promotional skills in the entire industry. And that is something that I've said numerous times that AEW should learn from. If there's one thing that AEW really needs to improve on, it's the fact that they need to get their promotional skills down. The promotional skills always go a long way, especially when it comes to the weekly shows. There's a reason why they sold out all of these house shows so quickly. Obviously, you can attribute that to the return of CM Punk. I mean, they did this with CM Punk with AEW 2.5 years ago. How many arenas were they selling out with CM Punk back in the day? CM Punk helped them sell out Arthur Ashe Stadium. Plain and simple. CM Punk helped them sell out Arthur Ashe Stadium. And then afterwards, the hype dies down because he's been back for a while. That's how it goes. They're hot at first, and then the hype dies down. Doesn't mean that he's not going to be great, but that's usually what happens because the fans normally have a very short attention span. And our final report, we got Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné, apparently, according to Fight... Hold on a minute. What do we got over here? What do we got over here? How you doing, Mr. Will Janowitz? Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, you may have seen him on The Sopranos.
I gotta fix the hair. If I become a manager, I gotta fix the hair.
That's actually what I was going to ask you. Now, many people know this man, Will Janowitz, from The Sopranos as Finn DiTrillo, but I'm sure a lot of people have already asked you about The Sopranos umpteen different times.
Yeah, go ahead.
I actually want to ask you a question. According to the rumors, you're actually working on a new project and it pertains to professional wrestling. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, I can't say too much, but there's a shot you might see me out there. There's a shot you might see me representing one of the world's greatest wrestlers, but I can't talk about it. Can't go into too much detail.
Well, I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on that. Now, you've been a wrestling fan from back in the 80s. Who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
If you can believe this, I was an Ultimate Warrior guy.
I'll tell you something right now. I remember watching old films of The Ultimate Warrior, and people said that match with Hogan and the Warrior, that was probably the only match that could have sold out Toronto back in the day.
I think it's the only match.
Now, let me ask you this. Back in the day, since you were a big Ultimate Warrior guy, was that match your favorite match growing up, or was there another Ultimate Warrior match that really just sticks out to you?
Wow. See, you're testing my knowledge. Man, what's another match that sticks out?
I mean, one person I've talked to said that Rick Rude was probably the Ultimate Warrior's best match.
What's the most famous Rowdy Piper match?
Oh, my God. There's been a lot. I would say probably the dog collar match.
That might be it.
Yeah, with the Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Yes, that's it.
That was the first ever dog collar match ever right there. But, hey, Will Janowitz.
Thank you, guys.
I greatly appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are fantastic.
I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you never know who's going to show up. You never know just who's going to show up here on the DJ Storms channel. But before we get into the top 10 matches of the year, once again, shout out to Will Janowitz. Mercedes Moné, according to Fightful, she was in talks with the WWE. Those have since fallen apart. At this very moment, both sides are no longer negotiating contractual terms. Now, it's actually quite interesting now that I think about it, because I actually figured that considering WWE has the TKO money right now, I figured that they'd pretty much be able to get anyone that they want, and they'd be able to pay anyone any amount that they want. But considering Charlotte Flair, she got that big money contract from WWE, which, by the way, Charlotte Flair is not worth $3 million, $4 million, $5 million. She is not worth that kind of fucking money. Mercedes is. Mercedes has every fucking right to price herself at $6 million simply because of the fact that she is undoubtedly the best women's wrestler of our generation. Plain and simple. But Charlotte Flair, with the fact that Charlotte Flair got such a big money contract, along with the fact that Bayley, she resigned, and I'm assuming Becky's going to resign too. Maybe Sasha is going to be the odd one out, or Mercedes, or whatever the fuck you want to call her. Sasha Mercedes seems as though she is indeed the odd one out. I mean, I don't want to say that she's the odd one out, but considering that she is not with the WWE as we speak right now, and they would just be bringing her on, I'm guessing WWE, they just need to take care of their signed talent first. They're taking care of their people that they already have in their nest, rather than inviting someone else into their nest. Even though Sasha Banks, she does have a good relationship with Triple H, maybe Sasha Banks never really had an intention of going back to WWE yet. Maybe Sasha Banks, maybe Mercedes Moné, maybe she's still looking to do more material outside of professional wrestling. I'm not really sure what that may be. I'm not really sure if she's going to get into acting again. I'm not sure if she's going to go to AEW. If anything, that seems like the best destination. I know for a fact that Trinity is talking to her about Impact. And if we get Mercedes and Trinity for the Knockouts Championship, that right there undoubtedly would be the biggest women's match that Impact Wrestling or TNA has ever done in their entire history. That's for sure. But I don't know if they're going to be able to afford it. Does anyone really believe that Scott D'Amore, TNA, will be able to afford Mercedes Moné? If anything, Mercedes Moné, her asking price alone is worth more than TNA, if you're asking me. I don't know where she ends up. I honest to God do not know where she ends up. To be quite honest with you, AEW seems like the best bet because Tony Khan seems like the only individual outside of those in WWE that can actually afford Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné may very well have priced herself out of WWE and priced herself in to AEW. Just saying. Those are your news, rumors, and reports. Hope you guys are having a great time. Hope you guys are having a very, very fun time here on the final LFU of 2023. We are going to get into the top 10 best matches of the year. We certainly got a lot to talk about. And I've been saying this every year. It's becoming harder and harder for me to do top 10 matches of the year because there's a lot of honorable mentions that I need to include as well because we have so much great wrestling. Right now, as we speak, in this era of pro wrestling, this is the best bell-to-bell pro wrestling era that we have seen in the entire history of the business. We have not seen better pro wrestling bell-to-bell other than what we've been seeing right now. So I'm just going to let you know, it was rough. It was rough for me to do this top 10. I do have some honorable mentions that I want to throw out there. However, I'm going to go in depth on my top 10, but I'm just going to lift off some honorable mentions here. My first honorable mention, Damian Priest and Bad Bunny, San Juan Street Fight at WWE Backlash, May 6th, 2023. Bianca Belair, Io Sky, Raw Women's Championship, WWE Backlash, again, May 6th, 2023. The Elite versus the House of Black, AEW World Trios Championships, AEW Revolution, 2023 on March 5th. Kenny Omega and El Hijo del Vikingo, AEW Dynamite, March 22nd, 2023. Athena and Willow Nightingale, Ring of Honor, Women's World Championship at Death Before Dishonor in Trenton, New Jersey. I was not in New Jersey at that time. I was actually down in Austin at my cousin's bachelor party. That was on July 21st, 2023. FTR and the Young Bucks, AEW World Tag Team Championships, AEW All In, August 27th, 2023. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship, WWE Crown Jewel, November 4th, 2023. Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes NXT Championship at NXT No Mercy, September 30th, 2023. MJF and Samoa Joe for the AEW World Championship, AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, September 20th, 2023. We're going to see that match again tonight, actually. Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr., AEW Wrestle Dream, October 1st, 2023. Christian Cage and Darby Allin, TNT Championship, AEW Wrestle Dream, October 1st, 2023. Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed, Montez Ford, Austin Theory, Damian Priest, and Seth Rollins, Elimination Chamber match for the United States Championship at Elimination Chamber, February 18th, 2023. Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita, AEW All Out, September 3rd, 2023. 3 more honorable mentions left. The Elite, Kota Ibushi, they took on the Blackpool Combat Club, Konosuke Takeshita, and Pac. That was in the Blood and Guts match on July 19th, 2023. Trick Williams, Dijak, Braun Breaker, Josh Briggs, and Tyler Bate, the Iron Survivor Challenge at NXT Deadline on December 9th, 2023. And then my final honorable mention, Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn for the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship at Elimination Chamber on February 18th, 2023. Those are all of my honorable mentions. Now let us get into the top 10. Top 10 matches of the year. And just a reminder to everyone, this is for WWE and AEW only. Number 10, MJF, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Jack Perry in the Pillars Fatal 4-Way for the AEW World Championship at AEW Double or Nothing on May 28th, 2023. That is number 10. And the reason why I chose this match is pretty simple. The reason why I chose this match is because of what it represented. I chose this match specifically because these 4 individuals, whether anyone wants to admit it or not, these 4 individuals, they are the here and the now, and they are the future of the business. No matter what your opinions may be, no matter what you may think they be lacking, no matter how you think they are in the ring, no matter what happened backstage, no matter if there was drama involved with them or if there was no drama involved with them, in the end, MJF, Darby, Sammy, and Jack Perry, these four individuals are four individuals that AEW is going to be built around for a long, long time. MJF is already the here and the now. MJF is already the here and the now. Next up, I'm going to say is Darby. Darby, he's the next one to win the world championship. I would be shocked if Darby Allin is not the world champion at least by the end of 2026. Sammy Guevara, he's had a lot of stop and start pushes. Same thing with Jack Perry. You could say that they're lacking a bit in the promo department, but when it comes down to it all, these two, they wrestle like they are main event level talents. And the fact that these individuals, they all came in and they were on the first two shows for AEW's short history. They were on Fyter Fest and they were on Double or Nothing. Everyone but Darby was on Double or Nothing. Everyone but Darby. But you see where they were in the beginning stages of AEW. You see where they were in the beginning stages versus where they were here. And the fact that they, from the start, they were given the keys to the kingdom. They were given the rub from management. They were given the rub from MJF himself. MJF even came out and quoted them being the four pillars. They came out there, they showed up, they showed out, and they really made a case as to why anyone could have won this match. There was actually a point in time where I thought Jack Perry was going to win the world title at one point in this match. MJF, he ended up taking the win, as he should, because right now, MJF, whether you want to admit it or not, MJF is the number one professional wrestler on the planet today. And that is why the Pillars Fatal 4-Way, that clocks in as number 10. Number 9, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania 39, night number 1 on April 1st, 2023. Everyone knows how I feel about Charlotte Flair. Everyone knows that I have been very vocal about my disdain towards her, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. She's very manipulative. She is not as talented as the people say that she is. And she is pretty much pushed because of her last name. She's pushed because she's a Flair. And if you are going to deny that, I have no problem looking you dead in the eye and calling you an idiot. However, I myself would be an idiot if I was to come on here and tell you that that was a bad match. That was not a bad match. Matter of fact, it may very well have been the best women's match that WrestleMania has ever seen. I say that with a straight face. I'm not stuttering. I am not bullshitting. I am not trying to gain attention. I'm not being a Charlotte Flair mark. I am speaking to you from an objective standpoint as a wrestling fan. The intensity, the story, the fluidity, the chemistry that those two women had on that night, it will never be duplicated. It will never be duplicated. See, Becky and Bianca the year before, they really set the pace. But Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, they raised the bar up several notches. I believe that match was rated 4.75 stars by Meltzer. And you know what? I'm even going to go out of my way to say that it should have been rated 5. It was a damn near perfect match. Damn near perfect match. And Charlotte Flair, she did the job. She did the job. Rhea Ripley won the championship. Now, what happened afterwards, I can't really say anything positive about because Rhea Ripley's title reign has been terrible. But at least for one night, Rhea Ripley does have something to hang on to besides winning the Rumble, and that was the fact that she delivered one of, if not the very best women's match that we've seen in 40 years of WrestleMania. That's why Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, SmackDown Women's title, WrestleMania 39, night number 1, that ranks as number 9 on my list. Number 8. We got number 8. Number 8. Some people said that this should have been number 1, and I know that my friend Travis, a.k.a. Habiki TMD, he actually rated this match as his number 1. But this is my number 8. My number 8. Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 39, night number 2. On April 2nd, my birthday. my birthday, and the IC title looked great on my birthday. A lot of people, they reference Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon in that ladder match at WrestleMania 10. They recognize that match as the greatest Intercontinental title match of all time. I have watched that match back, and seeing what that match did back in the day and seeing how good those two ended up turning out to be, they're two bona fide Hall of Famers. I understand why people constantly reference that, and many people say that that's not going to be outdone. But if you're looking for a match with physicality, if you're looking for a match with intensity, if you're looking for a match with unbridled brutality, this is your match. This is absolutely your match. And I would be a fool if I was to not include this match on my top 10. This match was fantastic. And it really, really gave that ladder match a run for its money. Really gave the ladder match a run for its money. And if you were to look at me and say that Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus from WrestleMania 39 Night 2 was your favorite IC title match of all time, I would not bat an eye. I would not bat an eye. As soon as that match was over, I knew for a fact, no matter what happened, this match was getting put on my top 10. And shout out to Gunther, too. Shout out to Gunther, too. Gunther right now, he is absolutely killing it. He is absolutely running through everyone. He is undoubtedly the best individual, number one in the entire WWE. I don't give a shit what anyone says. It's not Roman Reigns. It's not Seth Rollins. It's not Cody Rhodes. It's not Rhea Ripley. It's not Charlotte Flair. It's not the Judgment Day. Number one in the entire WWE is Gunther, point blank, period. Some people even say that Gunther is the wrestler of the year. And you know what? I wouldn't bat an eye if you told me that either. Now, me personally, like I've already said, MJF is the number one wrestler of the year for me, just because of the fact that he's the best world champion that pro wrestling has as we speak. But, if you were to look at me and say Gunther, again, I would not bat an eye whatsoever. And congratulations to Gunther, by the way. He recently became a new father. His wife, Ginny, recently had their baby not too long ago. So number 8, Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus. IC title at WrestleMania 39, night number 2. Number 7, Jon Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page in a Texas death match at AEW Revolution on March 5th, 2023. If you're looking for brutality just based on fists and feet, you go watch the triple threat match from WrestleMania. If you're looking for absolute inhumane material, you look at the Texas death match with Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page. And if there's one thing that this match proved, it proved that Jon Moxley, and this narrative has been going around on social media. I don't know who decided to come out of the woodworks to try and spew this fucking bullshit. Some people are on Twitter trying to spew some idiocy, saying that Jon Moxley was better as Dean Ambrose. I mean, what the fuck are you watching? Seriously, what the fuck are you watching? Dean Ambrose was barely a C-plus player. Dean Ambrose was barely a mid-carder in WWE. It's ridiculous. Why anyone would even think that Jon Moxley is inferior to Dean Ambrose when Jon Moxley has legitimately been the ace of AEW since the start? I honest to God don't know what you are on. I don't know what you're on. I don't know what you're taking. I don't know what you're smoking. Okay? Jon Moxley, if there's one thing that Jon Moxley's proven, Jon Moxley is the ace. Jon Moxley is 1,000%, bar none, bar no one. He is the ace of AEW, and I will not have anyone tell me any different. Hangman Adam Page, listen, you can have your own opinions on Hangman Adam Page, whether or not you like his promo ability, whether or not you're still pissed off about what he said about CM Punk, Whether or not you're still calling him an empty-headed dumb fuck just like Phil Brooks called him all the way back in September of 2022. Either way, all that shit doesn't matter. All that shit doesn't matter because when it comes down to it all, if you're going to look at me and say that Hangman Adam Page is not a main event pro wrestler, then I have no problem looking you dead in the eye and calling you a stupid wrestling fan. Hangman Page was, is, and always will be a main event professional wrestler. Period. If you're looking for brutality, you had weapons, barbed wire, and people stabbing other people with forks. You had cinder blocks. And Hangman Adam Page and Jon Moxley. If anything, I would say that Hangman Adam Page and Jon Moxley is perhaps the most underrated program of the entire year. Their chemistry together, exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. And without Hangman and Moxley, we would have never gotten the Blood and Guts match. We would have never gotten the Anarchy in the Arena match. We would have never gotten the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club and the great matches that we got spanning from March to July. Jon Moxley, Hangman Adam Page, Texas Death Match, that ranks in as number 7. Number 6. Number 6. Number 6 is a little bit of a controversial match. Number 6 is a little bit of it's a match in which people are very 50-50 on. It's a match that it gets people talking, but it brings up bad memories. Now, the outcome was wrong. The outcome of this match was wrong, and I will spit that fact in people's faces until I'm blue in the face. The outcome was wrong. I do not want to hear a fucking peep out of anyone. The outcome was wrong, but that still does not take away from what these two men did. Number 6, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at WrestleMania 39, night number 2, on my birthday, April 2nd. I understand that Roman Reigns is rather polarizing, and rightfully so, because his title reign coming out of WrestleMania has sucked. He should have lost the title to Cody Rhodes. Cody should be the champion right now, and Roman's title reign, as we speak, has taken a nosedive into the Atlantic Ocean. Roman's title reign is actually doing more harm than it is good. And once again, if you're going to try and deny that, I have no problem looking you dead in the eye and calling you a fucking dumbass. But I am not going to come out here and tell you that the match was bad. Because similar to the Charlotte Flair-Rhea Ripley match, even though I hate Charlotte Flair, I'd be an idiot to say that Charlotte and Ripley didn't deliver. Just like I would be an idiot if I was to tell you that Roman Reigns and Cody did not deliver. It absolutely delivered. Matter of fact, I believe I was tweeting at one point that Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes was perhaps one of the most emotionally taxing matches that we have seen on WWE TV in quite some time. I don't think I've been this emotionally taxed watching a wrestling match probably since the days of Gargano and Ciampa. That was the last time. That was the last time that I was that emotionally invested in a match. The last time I was that emotionally attached to the screen for a wrestling match, it was Gargano and Ciampa in NXT. It was the Gargano Adam Cole 2 out of 3 falls match. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic material. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, they brought me back to those days. They brought me back to those days, and it was a great thing to watch. The outcome may have been wrong. Cody should have won. But in terms of a wrestling standpoint, from bell to bell, I cannot stand here and say that that match was a bad match. Matter of fact, even though Roman Reigns has really seen his day as champion and that title reign has run its course, even though the title reign has run its course, I would be an idiot if I was to tell you that Roman Reigns is a bad pro wrestler. Roman Reigns, whether you love him or you hate him, he knows what he's doing when that bell rings, and he delivered a fantastic WrestleMania main event with Cody, easily the best WrestleMania main event that we've seen since Bryan Danielson, Batista, and Randy Orton back at WrestleMania 30 when Bryan defeated Evolution in one night to win the world title. So Roman Reigns and Cody, wrong outcome, fantastic match, ranks in at number 6. Now we're getting into the top 5, people. We're getting into the top 5. So if you guys got a prediction as to what my top 5 might be, throw them down right now. We're going to go over the top 5 in just a little bit. One more time, I want to thank each and every single one of you for stopping by. Thank you very much to Sarah Hapka. Thank you very much to Earl Cole. Thank you very much to Hula Grim. Thank you very much to James Punaseca. Thank you very much to the Final Horse. Thank you very much to everyone for making 2023 a fantastic year for the DJ Storms brand, and we're looking for even bigger opportunities in 2024. Hopefully, after I get off this, maybe I can get a little cameo with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Number 5. My top 5 starts with number 5. My number 5 best match of the year, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania 39, night number 1, April 1st, 2023. This was easily, without a shadow of a doubt, the most important tag team match that we have seen in WWE probably since DIY and The Revival. I don't think I remember seeing a tag team match that was this good on a major stage like a WrestleMania since DIY and The Revival at NXT TakeOver Toronto. Excellent match, and it capped off what was, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the best story in WWE, maybe in all of pro wrestling all year. The Bloodline storyline, when Sami Zayn was feuding with the Usos, with Kevin Owens going into WrestleMania, that right there, that was when WWE was at its peak. And then in between April and August, completely went downhill. Completely fucking went downhill. And the best part about this match is, unlike the Roman Reigns-Cody Rhodes match, this match actually had the right outcome. Excellent match. And the one thing that I have to say is disappointing is the fact that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, I don't think that they got a fair shot with the tag team titles. I really don't think that they got enough time with those titles. All they pretty much did was feud with the Judgment Day. That was kind of disappointing, if you ask me. But hey, at least they can hang their hat on the fact that they main evented WrestleMania. And shout out to Kevin Owens, too. Kevin Owens is a back-to-back WrestleMania main eventer. He main evented against Stone Cold, and he main evented against the Usos alongside Sami Zayn. Michael Cole, by the way, was fantastic on commentary during this match. Michael Cole, absolutely fantastic on commentary during this match, and I think it's about time that we start giving Michael Cole his flowers. Michael Cole absolutely has risen. He has risen leagues, and I mean leagues, above where he was several years back. When he does not have Vince in his earpiece, Michael Cole elicits a lot of great emotion. And I still remember what Michael Cole said when Sami Zayn pinned Jey Uso to win. He goes, "The bloodline be damned." I thought that was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic one-liner as Sami Zayn pinned Jey Uso. Excellent tag team match. Easily the best tag team match that WWE has ever produced since DIY and The Revival from back in 2016. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos at WrestleMania ranks as number 5. However, that was not the best tag team match of the year. The best tag team match of the year goes to FTR and Bullet Club Gold. 2 out of 3 falls match for the AEW World Tag Team titles at AEW Collision on July 15th, 2023. And that, ironically, is number 4 on my list. It's clear as day who the tag team of the year was. It was FTR. No questions about it. And their second reign as tag team champions, FTR and Bullet Club Gold. That match right there, that defined their tag team title run. That absolutely defined their tag team title run. They nearly went 60 minutes, I believe, just shy of 60 minutes. I believe it was 58 and a half, I would say. 58 and a half minutes. Excellent match. And FTR, if you guys had any doubt about FTR being the best tag team in the world, lo and behold, just go out of your way to watch that match. Go out of your way to watch that match. You are not going to regret it. You will have spent an hour of your time wisely. I'm not going to lie. There was actually a point in time, and I knew that they weren't going to win. I knew that they weren't going to win. I had FTR retaining because everything was leading towards FTR versus the Young Bucks at All In, which we got. But I really have to admit, they did a fantastic job. They really did a fantastic job at convincing me that Bullet Club Gold were going to win the tag team titles. There was numerous, and I mean numerous amounts of times where I thought that it was all over. And Jay White and Juice Robinson, you know what? If they did win, there's actually a small part of me that would not have minded if they did. So number four, like I said, FTR Bullet Club Gold, 2 out of 3 falls match for the tag team titles on Collision, July 15th. Now we're getting into the top 3. Number three on my top 10 best match of the year. Number 3, Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page, Texas Death Match at AEW Full Gear, November 18th, 2023. We thought that the Jon Moxley Hangman Adam Page match was brutal. No. Swerve Strickland said, "Hey, Moxley, hold my beer. Hold my fucking beer." I don't think I've ever seen someone do a Death Valley driver to another man onto cinder block, nor have I ever seen someone dump shards of broken glass onto someone else's back and then do a 450 onto the glass shards, pressing them further into the individual's back. Swerve Strickland could have sliced open his own abdomen if he landed wrong. But the main reason why I put this as number 3, is what it meant for Swerve. Swerve Strickland was unceremoniously released by WWE. They didn't see anything in him. And even when he was down in NXT, they never gave Swerve Strickland a fair shot. They never, ever gave him a fair shot, which was actually quite disappointing. Who knew that Swerve Strickland really had this in him? And then, after All In, going into the fall, AEW made a bold decision, and they paired Swerve Strickland with Hangman Adam Page. And by doing that, they made sense of it by saying that Swerve Strickland felt as though Hangman Adam Page, he's received all of these opportunities and he's become complacent. Meanwhile, if Swerve had received these opportunities, he would have been the AEW World Champion by now. And it resulted in not just 1, but 2 victories for Swerve Strickland. And now look at where he is. Some people are saying that Swerve Strickland, him being eliminated from the Continental Classic is no big deal. Some people are saying that Swerve Strickland should be the guy to beat MJF. And you know what? If that's the case, I certainly wouldn't mind that. I certainly would not mind that. Absolutely fantastic match. And this match easily was the best match of Swerve Strickland's career. And this match took Swerve Strickland to the next level like we have never, ever seen before. A fantastic performance for both men. And you got to give props to Hangman Adam Page, too. You got to give props to Hangman Adam Page. And you really, really need to put some respect on his name for going out there and putting him over without any hesitation. Hangman Adam Page, he doesn't care about winning. He doesn't care about losing. All he wants to do is go out there and wrestle. He went out there, he wrestled Swerve twice, and he did not utter one complaint about putting Swerve over. That is the type of individual that you want on your roster. An individual that goes out of his way to help others. And that's exactly what Hangman Adam Page did for Swerve Strickland. How you doing? I'm live right now. Here, if you want a piece of merch, you want to follow me on social media, please do so. I'm doing promotional skills while I'm doing a stream right now, people. I apologize. Hey, look, it's Masters of Your Memories Final Con of 2023. Anything can happen right now. You know that. But Swerve Strickland, Hangman Adam Page, easily, top 3. There was only 2. There was only 2 matches that ended up topping Swerve and Hangman Adam Page. There was actually a small part of me that really wanted to make this number 1. There's a small part of me that wanted to make this number 1, but there was just 2 matches that ended up topping it. And we're going to go over them right now. Number two. Yes, Ace Darling is in the house right now. Facebook user, yes, Ace Darling is in the house. I see you. Number two. Maxwell Jacob Friedman versus Bryan Danielson. 60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship at AEW Revolution, March 5th, 2023. For a good chunk of the year, I would say that this match was my number 1. For a good chunk of the year, this match was my number 1. This match right here, I mean, all you need to do is go back and rewatch it, and you'll see what I'm talking about when it comes down to it all. If you're asking me, I'd say that this match, to this day, that match with MJF and Bryan Danielson, that is still the number 1 match in MJF's entire career. And not only that, MJF 1000% was a made man. It didn't even matter. Did not even matter what happened after AEW Revolution. That match right there, that match made MJF's career. It made MJF's title reign. And that right there, that's what I love about pro wrestling. Everything about professional wrestling was embodied in this match. They started off slow. They crescendoed. We had great twists and turns. MJF tried any necessary means in order to retain the championship. And not only that, perhaps one of the most shocking moments of the year, MJF actually ended up tapping out Bryan Danielson. You heard me correctly. MJF tapped out Bryan Danielson and retained the championship at Revolution. If you guys love pro wrestling, and if you guys really want a match that gives you everything, makes you feel every emotion in pro wrestling, all you need to do, go out of your way to watch this match. You will not regret it. MJF, he retained the championship and has since gone on to have the best world title reign in all of AEW, and he is undoubtedly the number 1 wrestler to me in the entire industry. And finally, my number one match of the year, Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay, Part 2 for the IWGP United States Championship at AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling, Forbidden Door, on June 25th, 2023. I talked about this on the Rewind for Forbidden Door. Now, you look back on this match, and it's easy. It's easy to flip and fly all over the ring and pull off a bunch of high spots. And Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, they're perfectly capable of doing that. However, if you go and rewatch this match back, I want you guys to go and pay attention very, very closely. You go back and rewatch this match. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay did not start to crescendo. They did not start to crescendo until, I would say, probably at the 15-minute mark. It was very, very slow-paced. It was very, very methodical in the beginning. And above all else, The one thing, and this is something that I hate when these morons on social media try and come and say, oh, AEW, they don't have any story. You take a look at that match. You take a look at that match. That match at Forbidden Door. The entire 40 minutes that it went, it was all a story. That match was built around story. The match was built around a story told in the ring of Will Ospreay coming back for revenge after Kenny Omega went into his house at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom to go and take the championship from him. And then Will Ospreay now going into Kenny Omega's house in Canada. Will Ospreay going into Kenny Omega's house in Canada and wreaking havoc on Kenny Omega, telling that story in the ring. Don Callis was involved as well, especially when Kenny Omega, he got his foot on the rope. Kenny Omega got his foot on the rope after Will Ospreay hit him with a one-winged angel. You take a look at the crowd in Canada. They exploded, absolutely exploded, simply by someone putting their foot on the rope. And that right there, that is done through story. So if anyone wants to come out and say that, oh, AEW has no stories, a lot of stories can be told in the ring, and that is exactly what happened here. That story was told in the ring, and that right there is what made this match number one. And I'm going to tell you this, it was a rough one. I was actually contemplating at putting MJF and Bryan Danielson as number one. I was contemplating very, very much at putting Bryan and MJF as number one. In the end, Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, part number two, they got that. And if I'm Tony Khan, what I'm doing, I am having Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, part three, at All In. That's what I'm doing. That is one of my marquee matches for All In next year. One of my marquee matches, I am going with Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega 3. And if you want to do another marquee match, I'll do you one better. Give me Okada and Bryan part 3. Okada can win. Okada, he can win the second match at Wrestle Kingdom next week. I see you, man. I see you. I appreciate you. Daryl Johnson, right? Appreciate you. Thank you very much for the support. My man over here, right here, showing support while I'm live. You know I will keep up the great work. You know I will. Absolutely. Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, that is my number one wrestling match of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you. That is all that I got for you. A quick one, a very, very quick one, but I would like to thank each and every single one of you for tuning on into the stream. You guys have been fantastic. I greatly appreciate all the support that you have given me throughout the year. It has undoubtedly been one of, matter of fact, no, the best year for the DJ Storms brand, and I am looking forward to 2024, even more so as we speak right now. Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up the final Lightning Flash update of 2023. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out all of those links in the description. Please, please make sure that you go and hit the like button no matter where you're watching it from. And I want you guys to go out of your way and set your notifications for tomorrow, because tomorrow at 2 p.m., I will be going live with my boy, Mac the Giants fan. Mac the Giants fan, and we are going to be dissecting AEW World's End, which is tonight. I will be tweeting, and I will be taking my notes for AEW World's End later tonight. For now, I'm going to spend another hour here at Masters of Your Memories and chill, maybe get some cameos with some wrestlers. Till next time, I am DJ Storms. This has been the final Lightning Flash update of 2023. And before we get out of here, people, there is a question that everyone must answer. Ladies and gentlemen, who runs the IWC? I want you to think on it. I'll tell you. I will tell you who runs the IWC. It is who but DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you ever forget it.
'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.